class, a classmate, Hannah Eastburn, brought up a picture of the current issue of Vogue magazine cover, which, and she rightly pointed out, I think, that seems to be based rather strongly on painting we recently went, The Flaming June by Clayton. And I think it says, this comparison says more than just that a great number of people involved in the fashion trade were art history majors, designers, photographers, magazine editors, and the like. And you might ask yourself why this photographer or the picture editor or the guy telling the photographer what to do chose Flaming June as the source of inspiration for the posture of the figure here on the cover of Vogue. What do you think? Why is Flaming June that famous that you could allude to it and have people recognize it? Would any of you recognize this is a Lord Leighton painting? Had you not had this class? No, so it's not like doing the Mona Lisa, right? Which always becomes a joke and a cliche. This is, you might say, take it seriously because it's not meant to be a deliberate, an illusion that most people are supposed to pick up on. Why did the photographer, editor, whoever, select Flaming June, do you think? No idea. Well, the what?
Position and color.
You know, look, we have a lot of oranges around. Let's go to Sendix. It's not just color. I mean, is the woman particularly beautiful, which is what fashion tends to be?
She resembles.
Okay. And does anybody doubt that Flaming June is the underpinning of this image? No. And not unusual, the connection between fashion and art really is early as the first years of the 20th century when fashion magazines started playing a major role in the sale of clothing, and you have photographers like Edward Steichen, friendly with a lot of artists around 1911, 1910, often makes art historical allusions. The differences, however, are as important, I think, here in telling us about Flaming June than as much as any similarities. What are some of the differences, the changes? Whoever responsible for this image, looking directly at this picture, makes changes. What are some of the changes? Yes?
The mood.
What mood? Where?
Well, she's sleeping and she's not awake.
Okay. Let's not call it mood. Let's just call it sleep versus awake.
She's wide awake.
How does that change the image?
Well, it's more joyful.
It's more what?
Joyful.
Oh, well, is this model smiling?
She's thinking and thinking.
Changes the whole character of the picture, called mood, because there's this eye contact engagement with the viewer, right? You realize Leighton has just shut all that down. So it's not you and some person communicating with one another. It's separate, right? It's another realm, right, of sleep. It's not just that the eyes are open, look at the positioning of the head, right? It's this, and head erect, awake, alert, and engaged with you. So the whole sleep meaning associations are eliminated. What other more in greater detail? What else besides the head position? Look at the positioning of that. Notice how this one rises up higher, the knee, and it doesn't have the foot. Why do you think did the person posing the model in this photograph say, tuck your foot behind your calf? Why? Yes.
because the Vogue one is all about the dress, and this one is not, and so.
So you don't have to bring in the accessory person with shoes? Yeah. Just, you're still aware of this. Is this thing for sale in some way, do you think?
Probably.
Probably listed in the
Also all the classical little touches, architecture and what have you, have been eliminated, right? Right? It's not making an allusion to ancient antiquity, but it's an important part of Layton's whole career, isn't it? To, placing one way back when, some other time zone. Whereas fashion's often about now, not way back when, right? Although there is water in the background, as there is here, I think. Is that water back there? Suggestive of. I think the foot was eliminated because it's kind of rude and vulgar to stick your toes into somebody's, out into your space, right? And we realized, it's, Layton's not all about perfect elegance and light beauty. There's some elements of just tiny suggestions of rudeness. I think the positioning of the arm is different, right? This is a pillow arm, right? To go sleepy by, and getting rid of that. It's now doing. What is she doing? I mean, fashion model postures have nothing to do with naturalism most of the time. When was the last time you found yourself in one of these postures? Hardly at all. It's there for beauty, yes?
It looks like the photographer sort of capitalized on the Layton painting, and the person saw the sort of photograph, you get kind of lost in your dress.
Yeah, so he's clarified it,
Yeah,
simplified it.
yeah, but it looks.
Also, how much does this figure weigh? And how does this one? How much this one? Right? Fitting it into more modern ideals of anatomical beauty. In the 90s, voluptuous female body was much more appreciated than they hated all the kind of nasty remarks about women's bodies in humor and what have you. All she looks like a stick. Its thinness was not admired. It looked tubercular, I think. This hand, too, is about not falling asleep as much as the other one. Yeah, is resting there on the arm. Yeah, eliminated this kind of stuff over here for clarity, right? And this kind of comparison makes you aware, I think, even more of Layton's characteristics and aims here by seeing how it's changed. Notice the knee doesn't touch the feet. Likes the hair flowing out in both cases, though. Even similar color here, right? To there to match the garment here, not so, right? Of course, you also have to think, the photographer's obviously thinking about how this is going to work with the lettering, signage all over the image. All right. Let's turn to what we were beginning to look at.